The other day, one of his high school teachers invited me to speak at Career Day. That was my reaction. She'd actually invited 4 parents to come and speak. One was a doctor and a dentist and a lawyer and then me. You remember that little song? I think it was on Sesame Street. It goes, one of these things is not like the other. Turned out to be me, people. And they'd asked us to bring something to show the kids. A visual aid is what they call it. And the doctor, he brought this giant skeleton, which was really cool. And the dentist brought this giant tooth that opened up and showed all the nerve endings. And the lawyer, he brought another lawyer to represent him. And well, heck, I'm a comic. I brought a bottle of tequila and a drunk guy named Chuck. Point they asked us to describe our average day at work. I said, my average day? I don't know, kids. I wake up maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. Ate me some lean cuisine. Watch Dr. Phil, Oprah, Judge Judy, Joe Brown. By that time, get dressed, go to the club, be a smart aleck for an hour, drink beer, clock out. That's a pretty full day for me, kids. By the time I left that class, every kid in there wanted to become a comic. Even the doctor and the dentist wanted to become a comic. Stinking lawyer suing me for pain and suffering. Everything's changed since we were kids. Let me ask you something. Were you raised like I was? You get spanked as a child? Yeah. You're dang right we did. You ever get spanked in a store? Yeah. You dang right we did. None of this timeout baloney for us. Timeout meant they knocked us out. Just... Time-out referred to the time we're out. Yeah, my mama spanked me. You dang right she would. Right in the middle of a store, too. Always seemed to happen around the 6th or 7th aisle, though, didn't it? That's when mommy snapped. Well, think about it, 6th or 7th aisle, you've run over the back of her heels with the cart 4 or 5 times. It's like, oh! Do you not see me standing here? Get your head out of your butt. Oh! All right, go to aisle 10. Get me a wiffle ball bat. I ain't beating the living daylights out of you. But even back then, even in our day, there'd be that one person in the store that would stop and be totally offended and be like, no, what are you doing to that child? Step into the butt. Bend your knees. Use more wrist. Move out of the way. Let me show you. Heck, in our day, the whole store got involved, didn't it? Attention, Kmart shoppers. Little Etta May's getting her butt kicked on aisle 6. For the next half hour, we will have a blue light special on wiffle ball bats. You know, I think the hardest time for any child has got to be middle school. Would you agree? That is, yes. Because right at the time when hormones are morphing their bodies and frying their brains, we throw them in with a bunch of other more fry brains, and we expect them to survive. Let me tell you something. Middle school for me was a hell ride the moment I got off the school bus. Brenda Brown spotted me like a lion spots the weakest antelope in the herd, and I was toast. Hadn't done anything but breathe, and she decided I needed to get my head knocked off. The notorious Brenda Brown. She was that kind of student even the teachers were afraid of. Anything went down in school, it was Brenda Brown. Smoking in the bathroom, Brenda Brown. Cold fire alarm, Brenda Brown. Missing school bus, Brenda Brown. Let me tell you people something. I could take getting the tar beat out of me every day. It wasn't anything that I got at home. Let me tell you something. When you are the youngest kid of a family sporting 9 older brothers, the trickle-down beating stops with you. Every day, right before lunch, bam, Brenda Brown. Second shift came right before I got on the school bus for home. Bam! Ow. See you tomorrow. Heck, it got to the point I just wait for her to get it over with. But one day was different. Before I got on that school bus, when she hit me, my glasses went flying. I was picking myself up, pulling down my shirt, getting my books, and I realized Brenda Brown had my glasses. And she was scratching tic-tac-toe in the lenses. And she threw them back to me. Oh, this was bad, people. If my daddy saw this, he was going to kill me. I can remember that long school bus ride home. And I sat in that seat and I prayed. I prayed so hard that that school bus would stall on a railroad track. And we would all die in a fiery blaze. And my daddy would never know. A couple days went by and nobody realized I wasn't wearing my glasses. Then one night at the supper table, my mama goes, "Etta Mae, where's your glasses?" I froze. A pea rolled off my fork and crashed to the floor. You see, people, my daddy could smell fear like most people smell bleach. He looked at me and he cocked his head. And he grabbed my chubby little hand and he squeezed it hard. And we made that death march to the back room. That man spanked me with a belt to the point the poor guy got too winded and had to sit down. All the time doing that stroke talk. Do you know what I mean, that stroke talk? Yeah. Tell me what happened to those glasses. I think I scared Grandma. He had a stroke? When I finally confessed, let me tell you something. The disappointment on his face hurt a lot worse than that belt. He gathered the entire family up in the living room. And he got one of my brother's bozo punching bags. You remember those? The kind that had the sand in the bottom? And when you hit it, it popped back up. And he goes, "Okay, what's this first class you got with this Brenda Brown?" And I said, "Well, study hall right before lunch." He goes, "This is what you gonna do. Tomorrow I want you to go to the front of the class. I want you to tell your teacher to call that Brenda Brown up. And in front of everybody, in the loudest voice you have, I want you to yell, 'Brenda Brown, do you have a friggin' problem with me?'" But trust me, he didn't say friggin'. And then he said, "I want you to punch her right in the mouth." What? And then he said, "I'm going to stay home from work. And if I don't get a call from the principal by noon, I'm going to spank you within an inch of your life when you get home." What? And then he made me practice over and over again. "Brenda Brown, do you have a friggin' problem with me?" Bam! Next day on the school bus, my heart was in my head, just boom, boom, boom. But heck, people, at that point, I was between a rock and a rock. I did what my daddy said. "Brenda Brown, do you have a freaking problem with me?" Bam! She floated like a feather over the teacher's desk. Now, I could be wrong, but I swear Miss Mortice was giggling to herself as she drug us to the principal's office. I sat in Principal Campbell's office with Brenda Brown's mother and Brenda Brown. Brenda Brown's mom was thin and hard, and she shook as she lit one cigarette off of another. We sat in silence and we waited for my daddy. And then suddenly the door swung open, and there stood my dad like John Wayne in a gunfight. Principal Campbell said, Milo, we got a problem. My dad said, no, we ain't got no problem. That little girl right there's got the problem. Because my daughter's going to come and kick the living daylights out of her every single day. And Brenda Brown's mom stood up and said, hey, and my dad said, and you shut your mouth or I'll have my wife come and kick the snot out of you. And then he said, Etta Mae, go get in the truck. We're going to Dairy Queen. Brenda Brown never bothered me again. But do you know I think of that girl to this day every time I eat a dilly bar? My husband and I, we just celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary. Thank you. And my oldest boy is 17. Go ahead and do the math. Okay, Skeeter, don't try to do the math. Okay. Just take my word for it. Okay. Trust me, we're going to get to those set of shuns in due time. So after 17 years of wedded bliss for our anniversary, he bought me a vacuum cleaner. Isn't that romantic, girls? I felt kind of bad. That was only half the anniversary present. He got tickets to Hawaii. Yeah, pretty nice. He looked kind of funny on the beach with that vacuum cleaner sticking out his butt, but I don't think anybody really noticed. Little cord dragging in the sand. That really made it easy to track him on the beach, though. Eureka! I did a very stupid thing when we was in Maui. We was on the beach one afternoon, and I allowed my husband to talk me into going parasailing. Yes. Now, Grandma, do you know what parasailing is? Yes. For those of you who don't know, it's a combination of 3 different sports: water skiing, parachuting, suicide. I'm standing on the beach, this little anorexic beach Barbie. In fact, I think it was you skinny broad, you. She started strapping me into a harness. She starts giving me all kinds of instructions. She said, now, Etta Mae, the boat's going to take off. It's going to tighten this tow rope, inflating to chute with air, lift you gracefully off the ground. That boat must have drugged me a good 50, 60 yards. My butt plowed a trench 6 inches deep all the way down that beach. Migrant workers were running behind me planting sugar cane. I had so much sand up my suit, I pooped pearls for a week.